Hi.
Well, hello everyone, and today we're going to go through 13 checks that a carer should make before using a mobile hoist. Well, check the wiring on your mobile hoist. Make sure it's intact and there's no damage whatsoever. This is to the control panel, and here we have the wire going to the hydraulic unit. This is also a great time to check to make sure that there's no problems with the wiring on your battery charging unit. Check that the hoist has been serviced in the last 6 months and that it's got a label indicating when it was last serviced and when it's due for re-service. It's important that this gets done every 6 months. It's also important that service providers keep records of the servicing of their mobile hoist, certificates and dates of inspection. This will be useful for any regulatory visits that they might have. Check that the hoist is clean, and also the slings you're going to be using with the hoist. After all, no one wants to be moved with a dirty hoist or dirty slings. Check that the hoist is fully charged and working correctly. Just going to raise the boom on this one, lower the boom, and I had every confidence that that was going to work as the battery had been on charge for 24 hours. Check there's no obvious damage to the hoist. Hoists are generally made of metals, alloys, etc., and it's quite easy to have a quick check round to make sure there's nothing obvious that's going to make them dangerous. If they become dangerous, we don't want to be using them. Check that there's no damage to the spreader bar. Make sure that it moves freely and works effectively. On this particular one, the loops just go over the hooks, but on some spreader bars you will find that there's linkages. If those linkages are designed to be there and they're not there, the hoist cannot be used. Check that the hoist moves freely. Obviously, before you move a hoist, make sure that the environment you're moving it into is safe. I'm going to move this one forward and back, and what we're checking for is to make sure there's no damage to the wheels. Check that the brakes on the hoist work. It's important to remember that when you're actually raising a service user, that the hoist brakes are off. The service user and the hoist will find their own centre of gravity. The hoist brakes on this particular hoist are located at the bottom, and I'll just show you how they work. And as you can see, that is not moving at all. It's important when the hoist is not being used or is being stored that the hoist brakes are on. Check that the legs on your hoist move in and out. We use this foot pedal to open the legs up and the other foot pedal to close them. On some hoists you will find that this works from the control panel. On other hoists you will use a handle at the front to move them to and fro. Check the safe working load of the hoist. On this one we have a label here showing the safe working load at 150 kilos. On other hoists you will find that the label is elsewhere. It's important that you do know what the safe working load is for your hoist. Check the hoist for any oil leaks. Obviously hoists run on hydraulics, so there is a potential for oil leaks. On this particular one we will be checking around the seal here to make sure that there's no oil there, and underneath to make sure that there's no oil dripping from the units. If there is any oil leaks, the hoist must not be used and a service engineer called immediately. Check that you know the location of the emergency stop button. On this particular hoist, it's down here, but on other hoists it can be at the front, and it's quite easy for people to accidentally activate that stop button. Just going to show you how this works. Pushing in and the hoist stops. Deactivate the stop button and the hoist works again. Make sure your carers know exactly where the emergency stop button is. Check the location of the emergency release. On this particular hoist, it's located here, and by raising this, the weight of the service user will bring down the boom.